G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for part number 5 of my Beginners Fire Pets Cabalist playthrough. Last episode I left you up here in the Corvin City, and I left you with the task to get yourself a second dagger. Now I've gone ahead and got myself a second dagger, and now we're going to go ahead and use it. Before that though, I've got some quests to turn in, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn in Anorak's brothers here. And I'll probably end up leaving the other ones on the screen, which is probably going to bother me more than I'd like to admit. However, very close to level 32. Anyway, that's fine. One other thing I did in between the episodes was I crafted myself 2 enchanted flint. And we're going to be putting those onto these 2 daggers. And then, bingo, bango, bongo. What we have now done is we are a fully-ish elemental build. So the daggers themselves are fire weapons rather than pet weapons, so the chances of you actually getting a pet prefix or suffix on these things is kind of low. If you get one, amazing. If you don't stress about it. Probably this one will end up being the main weapon that I go all the way to 100 with, unless I happen to get a better drop at some point. The actual level of this weapon doesn't matter, and because it's quite hard to get pet stuff on this weapon, having a higher level version to also not have pet stuff on kind of doesn't matter. So, once you have one of these with 100% to both conversions, you're done. That's it. That's all you need. Or even, this one is 94% vitality to fire and 100% physical. That's kind of enough. This one is also mostly physical to fire, or 100% physical to fire, and 87% vitality to fire. I would probably say that is enough as well. This build worked quite well when it had 0% vitality to fire conversion, and all we were converting was the physical damage, so getting most of your vitality converted on top of that is quite good. You could also go back to your Conjuring Bone. If that's something you think you might be interested in doing, go on ahead. I'm going to dual wield for a little while. I will want my relic slot back at some point, at which point I'll probably just do that. So you can do that now if you want. I may try out the Manifestarius as well, although I am decently short on spirit in order to wear this. That flat elemental damage and bleeding resistance on the pets would be quite useful. Okay, so we are now a fire pet Cabalist. Let's go ahead and chuck this on the Blight Fiend. You could put this on the Skellies and you would end up with more little blue elemental storms on the floor. But you would also end up with considerably less Aether Fires, so I like to put it on the Blight Fiend. You could put this on the Familiar as well. Honestly, it's much of a muchness. I have also set the Familiar to defensive. You can just right-click on them. Defensive means the Familiar is going to stay kind of close-ish to the player character. Aggressive means that they will run away further in order to attack things. This really just doesn't matter. We could completely not have this active and it would do basically the same thing. So, not too stressed about it for now. Let's start summoning the boys. And we're going to head back into the base game. So we were up to Twin Falls. We've got a few levels since we were last here, so this should honestly be a bit of a cakewalk. And you'll notice I just summoned 7 skeletons with 1 cast. So now they really are just ammunition. Let's go ahead and just... I can't delete them because I can't put any more points in there. I was going to unsummon them and then resummon them, but honestly it doesn't matter. I am going to get 1 point in Mend Flesh, just so the bird can do something. I will be taking this out later. Having Mend Flesh actually stops the bird from attacking and casting Lightning Strike if you have those skills. But honestly, I want the extra skill point for auras. And the bird is just going to follow me around and provide auras. For now though, 8 is our maximum as well, which is kind of unfortunate. It's fine though, we're basically just going to walk through here and annihilate everything. We are doing mostly fire damage now. which means that things that are strong against Aether and weak against fire will die a lot easier, and vice versa. We do already have requests through this section, actually, so if I see the... You know what? I might even skip the totem. But we're going to push through the main story a bit, and we are... I'm not going to say over-leveled, because that's not really a thing. But we are higher level than we would normally be at this point, because we did basically 90% of Forgotten Gods before we came to this point. So we can just push through a lot of this stuff. We are going to get XP for killing things just passively as we walk around. But realistically, it's not going to be a big deal. That, however, is quite a big deal. That's a lot of armor. Okay. Need to start paying attention to armor for resistances and, well, armor. So you'll notice the pets are dying a whole lot less now. And that's just due to the base game enemies being considerably easier to kill and doing a decent amount less damage than the Forgotten Gods enemies. Also, not having that fire dot placed on your pets every single time you kill a Wraith is really good. Alright, so next room is going to have, I think, No More Dread spawns down there. But it's going to have one of the 3 named skeletons that we need to kill. So let's go get them. Now this should die relatively quickly. Some of the damage is off tacking other things. But still decently fast. And that's without having the devotions fully leveled up or anything like that as well. So damage is good. It definitely will get better. Once we get the medal from the Gloomwald and the helmet from Malmoth, we'll be doing a decent bit more damage. Also, just skill points in general. Alright, dropping a rift here. I'm going to poke my head outside just to get the next rift gate. We can pick this quest up as well, and then that way I can forget about it as I run past the quest target like I normally do. Alright, back to... that's the wrong one. Back to my personal rift. There we go. And I'm going to run through this, partly just out of habit, but also because we have the quest, why not? And at some point, I'll be over near the Steps of Torment and I can turn it in. But if you don't do it, then you can't turn it in. Don't get access to the Steps of Torment. And to be fair, the Steps of Torment does have a devotion shrine in it, so I probably should run over there. Alright, if you didn't get your books outside, your tomes, these ancient lecterns spawn all through here. And as soon as you found the first one, which you should have got outside in episode 3, but as soon as you find the first one, all the others will show up on your map with a big gold star over the top of them, so you should be able to find them pretty easily. Okay, we're just going to ignore that one. We're not exiting, we are going to push through to the deepest, darkest pits. Okay, Spellbook of Caged Souls. Alright. We don't have the Hellhound yet. And the Hellhound is going to be another one of those pets that we just keep for an aura. During the leveling process, at least. If you do end up using the Lost Souls set, the Hellhound is going to be either your main pet or your second main pet, depending on... well, if you're using Lost Souls, you really want the skeletons, so it's kind of equal main pets. But while we're leveling, it's just there to provide an aura, so we won't be putting a huge amount of item power, I guess we'll call it, into the Hellhound. We're all about the bony boys. Okay, we do need to go over here and kill Luvagra, who is right here. The other good thing about dual wielding these daggers is you get to summon your entire army, pretty much, with one set of buttons. Okay, that's the end of him. Give me that war shield that I'm never going to use. So because we only have 8 as a maximum, and we summon 7 at a time, we just put our army where we want it. Okay, there we go. And this guy here, totem complete. Got the Adept's gloves, and then we have the Sangvinar, which we're not using, and Harrod's Frigid Grip, which, yeah, we're not using that either. But I should probably have a look for, just for armor value. 172 on armor, that's not bad. Gloves are only slightly better. How about this chest? That is a lot. I think I mentioned that one when I picked it up. There's a lot of extra armor. Very tempting. Alright, here we go. Ooh, Impervious. Impervious is pretty good. Alright, let's back up. This idiot's over here beating on this one tiny guy when I want him to be over here tanking this. Okay, Hellwraith, the Burning. Somebody please kill this fool. There we go. Finally got the boys to actually attack him and he melts. Okay, I haven't found the treasure trove in here yet either. So at some point, I'm hoping that'll show up. We do have some loot hidden in the walls here. Just across this bridge. This one's not particularly well hidden. If you have the totem here, you're almost certainly going to find this one just by accident. Because of the splash damage. It's just here. So we'll grab that. Plague Bearers, Diviner. Okay, none of this is... Oh, hello. That's interesting. I wonder how that's going to look on the recording. Okay, yeah, none of this is likely to be amazing gear, but it's always fun to get the fancy stuff from out of the walls. And here is Ravina and Krian. Ravina and Krian being the last of the 3 hero types we need to kill. Let's just put the boys over here so they'll actually attack her instead of just random whatevers. There we go. Alright, Medic's Mark. I believe that has a heal proc on it, doesn't it? Where is it? I will put that on, but not right this very second. Medic's Mark. Yep, there it is. 10% chance on attack to heal for a percentage, so that could be quite good. Runeforged Chestplate, that's a decent chunk of armor. And actually some health as well. All that lightning and aether damage is useless to us. Aether resistance, I guess, is nice. We might hang on to that as well. Alright, let's go check down here. Just see if my treasure trove is here. It is not, but hey, hidden spoils. That's always fun. Cindervein Mantle for fire stuff. Obviously no good for us. Okay, the last place I know to check for the treasure trove is going to be over here on this little side platform. And it's not here, so I missed one of the spawn points. That's fine, we're not here on a treasure trove hunting expedition. We are actually here to take out Kilrian, although there's no quest for him. But he is guarding a devotion shrine, so we'll go whack him just for that. And here we go. Send the boys in first, and push all the damage buttons. So he should die relatively quickly. Just make sure if you're going to stand here like this that you watch your health bar and don't stand in the goop for too long. Alright, did he drop his soul? I don't see it. I'm going to say no. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay, more points into the bar. We're going to put 1 point in the Hellhound for now, but we are, realistically, we're chasing Storm Spirit. Harmonious Amulet of Mending. Okay, and these boots are going on immediately. Let me double check here, but I think this is just way better. Yeah, I'm going to lose some Aether resistance, but I kind of don't care. I just want the extra armor. Okay, oh, there's my treasure trove. There you go. I didn't even know it could spawn here. Alright, I'll take it. Manticore Eye is a pretty good drop. And we have a devotion point available, so let's get some elemental resistance for the pets. Now that we no longer need this, this is really good. Alright, what do we got next? I guess we grab the heroic chest here. And then we head on out to the Broken Hills. Now I think I will run down to the Steps of Torment and just get that devotion shrine. Because there's really no reason not to. I'm just going to have to do it later if I don't do it now. So we'll just get it done. One thing I will do though is... Actually no, I won't. It's not going to save any time. That's fine. We'll just head straight for the Steps of Torment and then we'll have to rift back over here and do the whole run again. But if I was to run ahead to the next rift gate, we'd pretty much have to do the whole run again anyway, so no time saved realistically. Alright, resistant trench coat. I mean, it's slightly better, but I'd have to go back to town to change the component over, and it's not that much better. So we'll go through here decently quickly. In the Steps of Torment, I'm not interested in killing Zarthuzalan. I'm not interested in the actual Skeleton Key dungeon. I'm pretty much just there for the Devotion Shrine. Alright, let's see if everybody can stand in the Aether and melt. Yeah, no, they all died. Okay, we've got the Gems of Arcane Chill, which is a no. These shoulders are actually a yes. Anchorite's leg gear should be pretty good. Right, let's have a quick look at this. Yes, you can. Right, where to go? So, the Anchorite's leg armor, we now have 2 copies of that. So which one is better? 8% health, more resistance, yep. That one's better. Level 37, I've already got the physique required for it, so I could just use it. And what was the other thing I was looking at? Shoulders, wasn't it? Yeah, these shoulders. So anything you can get with Of Kings, and preferably this would be on gloves or boots, but anything you can get with Of Kings is pretty good. So when you get hit, you embolden your nearby allies with a mighty roar. 10% total speed is attack, cast, and move speed. It's really good on pets, and 50% all damage is also really good. So even though these have no resistances, I'm still going to wear them. And now I'm going back to Devil's Crossing, because I need to swap the component.
Tinkering is my specialty.
There we go. Alright, so I believe we uncapped probably poison resist there. It's not the end of the world. If it really bothered me, what I would do is I would come in here, I would go to the blacksmith,
Hey, got any more scrap metal?
and I would craft an anti-venom salve and put it on my helmet. And there we go, we're capped again. So that's what I would do if it bothered me. You know, it doesn't bother me, so... You know, I wouldn't do that. We may as well do that swap as well. And what do we got here? That's some more armor, but I would lose a bunch of resistances. I think we'll leave that one for now. Kilrian's weapon can go. What else we got here? Do I want to use this? So, we are going to need some more spirit at some point anyway. The skill points on this are no good. A little bit of health, kind of who cares. It's just that flat damage and bleeding resist for the pets. I don't think it's honestly that good. I think I'm not going to use those. I probably should have melted the Krieg weapons to get my components back, but I kind of don't care. And that's demo belt. Goodbye. Alright. That'll do us for now. Remember, all the pets are dead, so... Let's just go ahead and resummon all of them right now. Alright, and back to the Steps of Torment. Guess we'll pick those up. I'll vendor them. And there is also hidden loot over here. So we got hidden spoils here. New chest armor? That's a lot of elemental resistance. I think I'm actually going to use that. And we're just going to go back to town to get my component back because, well, I want the component. Realistically, I want this component probably on the shoulders, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we'll just do it like that. That's fine. Okay, running to the steps of Torment, round 3. Here we go. Will we actually make it to the Devotion Shrine before I decide I have to go back to town for something else? Place your bets in the comments now. Spoiler alert, the answer is probably no. Alright, we got Calderos here. Quest complete, thank you for the XP. Now, I'm actually not going to pick up this quest here, because as much as I'm trying very hard to ignore the Forgotten Gods quests over there that are in the way, I don't actually like having quests just sitting there. And if you pick that quest up, it will just sit there until you go down and kill Zathuzalan and get into the Steps of Torment. So we're just not going to do that. And I am going to drink a healing potion. And otherwise, just walk through this place. And we're just going to pretend that my health bar doesn't deplete when they shoot me. So we are going to be killing a decent chunk of this stuff just kind of by walking past it. And I am looking for the treasure trove, which could have been here. But we'll find that at some point. Sure, it'll show up. There's also an Exalted stash down here, which I may or may not find. But like I said, we're just here for the Devotion Shrine, and now that we've made it to Misery, Devotion Shrine's down this way. Okay, Aetherfire level up is good. You love to see that. More damage. And the priests at the back here. You guys have got to go. Anybody who glows yellow just must be destroyed with extreme prejudice. Check down here if you're in the area, because the treasure trove could be, I think, here. But it's certainly in this area somewhere. And I guess we'll grab this ornate chest because it kind of looks like it's important. Alright, Devotion Shrine is just here. I am going to clear the room next door though because priests, and also because sometimes stuff will spawn on the other side of the wall from this Devotion Shrine, and then it's going to get dragged into the fight anyway, so we may as well kill it now. I had forgotten about this, but I'm just going to pretend that the other reason I came over here was to get the loot. Because I enjoy getting loot out of the walls. Which is true. The part about clearing the room so as I could get that though, yeah, that's not true. I'd completely forgotten about that one. So as you can see, some of this stuff spawned on the other side of the wall. And we definitely want to be killing that. Alright, what do we got? Spite Wraith Girdle. Not a bad belt. The Spirit Bane Ointment is really good. Aether Resistance in a bottle. A little bit expensive. An Aether Shard can be made with 3 Aether Crystals. And then a Wrathstone, I think, is 4 Aether Crystals. So, certainly not cheap. But if you're running around with 8% Aether Resistance and you're about to run into Homestead, then it could definitely be worth picking up one of those. And I believe it crafts 3 at a time. Alright, we'll grab this one. Probably could skip that one, but it's fine. Hang on. Can I skip that one, actually? This node here is decent to get for the elemental resistance. I could go into red and then Jackal. You know what? I need the Chaos Res anyway. We'll just take that one. And honestly, this doesn't really matter. We'll just take Physique for now. Okay, I do want to maybe have a little bit of a poke around for the Exalted Stash and the Treasure Trove, so let's just run up this side here. We'll see if it's in this little watery room over here on the right. Also, I think it can spawn along this edge somewhere or in this room. Not the end of the world if I don't find it. Hey, here's the Treasure Trove. And we've hit respected with the rovers. Alright, nothing too amazing here. Checking for arrows in my face by the looks of it. Piercing resist is definitely maxed. I just don't have the armor for it, I guess. There's my Exalted Stash. Alright, good. Shoulder Guards of Perdition, once more proving that Perdition is everywhere until you actually want it. Definitely do hang on to those. I know we're not playing a Retaliation build, we're not playing a Poison build, but the 2-piece bonus for this is 10% increased armor that applies to everything. And each of the items also has around about sort of 4 or 5% increased armor on them as well. And so you can get a lot of armor from just equipping 2 pieces of Perdition. Now, if you get the shield, you're kind of out of luck. But if you happen to get, for example, the shoulders and the gloves, or the shoulders and the helmet, or the helmet and the gloves, or even the chest, can be quite good. So I am going to hang on to those and hope for a second piece that is not a shield. Although if it was a shield, I would probably wear it. The conversion on this second weapon is 6% vitality to fire, and other than that, all we're getting is +3 to raise skeleton and 2 more summons when we push the button. Could almost just chuck this back on and be pretty much as well off as we are. And then also, you know, would have my relic slot back as well. So probably not a bad idea to do it, but we'll leave it for a little while. Maybe play with that when we get to Homestead. Alright, so running across here, I'm keeping my eye open for the totem, which actually I may have already done down here. I can't exactly remember. I think I did it already, but it could be along here somewhere. Also need to go back because I just ran past old mate, who I always forget. So we'll go back and kill... what's her name? Lutra, I think? Pet belt. +3 to summon familiar. Honestly, this is not as good as it sounds. More levels in familiar. I guess it's good to have high level pets. The main reason I'm looking at this belt and thinking about it is that 5% physical resistance to the pets. Pierce and bleeding, 18 and 13. Alright, you know what? We're going to do it. And I'm going to go swap that component off. The pets are not dying a huge amount at the moment. But more levels in the bird is not a bad thing. Does it shoot 2 little balls yet? It doesn't seem like it says. I guess we'll find out. More levels in the Raven skill itself, the Find Familiar skill, will actually increase the number of little lightning balls that it shoots out. We did kind of just take a little bit of an L on the piercing resistance there. It's probably fine. Alright, there is level 34, so one more level until we get to 35, and 35 is a pretty big level for any leveling character. But we will cover that kind of when we get there. Alright, we've got the Hellhound as well now. I'm going to put him... You know what? We'll just leave him. I fully expect to be resummoning everything that's in melee range fairly regularly on this build, so it's not the end of the world. Doomforge Breastplate is pretty good. We are way over an elemental resist, so realistically my current armor doesn't really give me much of anything, so we're going to go swap that as well. Just for fun, because, you know, swapping components out all the time. Everybody loves doing that, right?
Bring me back something interesting.
Okay, there we go. So we killed Lutra. We can go turn that in for an attribute point, but I'm not super worried about attribute points just yet. We will get it, if I remember, when we get to the next Rift Gate, but for now we'll just push on. Here is Mornay's mate, Elsa. You send out to find her at some point, and we're not even going to talk to her. Be very antisocial and just walk past. Alright, this little section here, there is a hero, are they Mistmen, or whatever they are? These guys, Mistborn Warriors. There's a hero of these guys, who is deceptively dangerous, so just do be careful with them. If you see a hero, maybe try to evade. You definitely don't want to get netted in place and then beaten on by a bunch of things. Alright, everybody's dead. We got the Bloodhound Greaves. We got half our health bar wiped out. Definitely need to get some more piercing resistances. Bloodhound Greaves are not the item that I thought they were. And that's all I'm going to say about them. We're not going to use those. Let's head on into the mine. Okay, I did actually remember this time. Miracle of miracles. I did remember that we need to go back and talk to Lutra's mum, Minerva. So, there we go. She suffers no more. Thank you for the attribute point. Seriously considering a little bit more spirit, but I think I need the health for now. We are getting kind of close to the 100 health per level, sort of minimum threshold. Getting more health can only be a good thing regardless. Alright, we're going to burn through here decently quickly. I want to see if I can get Pine Barrens done today. And that should probably take 15 or 20 minutes, so... We're on the clock. Well, I'm on the clock. Alright, none of this stuff is really worth stopping to murder. None of the stuff that they are dropping, none of the MIs are things that we care about. You may find a totem just here. Be very careful with this totem. This one, it spawns the rock golems. And you can potentially be deleted by a pack of those golems. If you get hit by more than... Probably more than one, actually. So if you get hit by 2 rocks at the same time, you're probably dead. So be very careful about that totem if you decide to click on it. Voldrak unfortunately didn't drop the blueprint for the Mistborn Talisman, so I'll probably have to come back at a later date and get that. Or pick it up in Ultimate. Honestly, I'm just going to ignore it until I find what it is that I think I need it for. And then I'll go get it. I know you need it to craft a whole bunch of other relics and things, but 1.2 I think it was, changed the crafting recipes for a whole bunch of stuff and made it a lot more, we'll call it streamlined. Alright, so here's Steven Seagal. We're going to talk to Old Mate here and ask how we can help. Also, Colin Tavern wants us to go find his sister. Which we can do. We know where she is. Okay, down into the mountain deeps, and there are no MIs in here that we care about either. In fact, the next MI that we care about is probably on the other side of Homestead, in the Blood Grove. Although even that, not sure that I particularly care about that too much. I guess there's 2 in the Blood Grove, and one of them is very important, so I take that back. We definitely want to get the +1 to all Necromancer skills amulet from the Blood Grove. So we will be absolutely going for that one. Okay, Ancient Savage Totem. Now, depending on what spawns here, this can be either free XP or death. So, just like the last one, do be careful of the rock golems and consider running away. If this spawns rock golems, just consider running. It doesn't look like it spawned the golems for me. Nope, I'm good. Okay. What do we got here? Nothing that I care about, I don't think. Miasma robes, I'm pretty sure I've had 2 or 3 of those already. Mountain Deeps, the other thing we're looking for in here, aside from just get through and the sister, we also want the treasure trove, which could be, I think, in this corner somewhere on this platform, certainly. So it could be on that platform, it could be on this platform right here, which is where mine is. Or there is 1, maybe 2 more places it could be. Where'd that blueprint go? There it is. Okay, this totem, again, can be a little rippy. There is a lot of poison damage that comes out of this, and so if your poison resistance is not capped out, be careful. Okay, that looked really, really easy. I promise I'm not making it up. That fight can be a little rippy. Alright, I am going to empty my inventory here. I think we can keep not a whole lot, actually. That's probably enough. We'll keep the rest. Although, having said that, I definitely don't need those astral shoulders anymore. You know what? I'm not going to wear that. I do want the extra vitality and chaos res there. So, you know what? You can have that. And honestly, I think I'm going to do that as well. Now, that's going to get my skeletons still at 25. If you don't have a burning blade or a carver's conjuring bone of binding, you probably want to keep this for the +3 to raise skeletons. The cooldown reduction is nice, the extra summons is nice, but I think I want something else, and I want this back. Once we get to Homestead, actually we'll do it at Homestead. We'll leave it for now. Once we get to Homestead, I definitely want my relic back, and I would recommend it to everybody as well. For now, we'll leave it. Okay, a little bit more room in the old inventory, so we should be good here. Back into Mountain Deeps. So I've already got my Devotion Shrine, which we're going to put into Crossroads Red, and then we're going to start on the Jackal here. We are heading towards Soleil's Witchblade, which is here. This is a fire devotion, and the proc on this is going to allow us to shred fire resistance, which is the reason why we're after it, basically. Let's give him the old damage buff. And everybody's dead. Alright, I do need another skeleton. This is one of the things I don't like about the increased number of skeletons that you can summon. So, let's say you had, just for example, random number I pulled out of my other build. Let's say you can summon 14 skeletons at a time. And let's say that you're at the point in the game where the peasants are basically worthless and they'll die in the first fight they get into. And the revenants are also kind of squish and will most likely die in the first fight they get into. Well, if you can summon, if 17 is your max and you can summon 11 at a time, which we can get to the point where we can summon 11 at a time, then you summon 11 and it resets what you have. So you're going to have probably a couple of peasants, probably a revenant or 3, and then they're going to run off and die. You're going to look at this and go, oh, well, I've got, let's say, 9. I need to resummon. So you resummon, and a bunch of your archers die because you're over the cap now. And in your resummon, you've got a couple of revenants and a couple of peasant skeletons again. And so you go and get into another fight, and all the melee guys die. And you go, oh, I'm below the cap. I need to resummon. And so you resummon, and the whole cycle repeats. Whereas if you're only summoning 3, if you lose a couple of melees, let's say you lose 2, then if you're only summoning 3 at a time, eventually you'll end up with more or less entirely either archers or mages, which is really, really good. The more you summon at a time, the harder it is to get to that point. So, yes, resummoning 11 at a time is really good for keeping numbers up when they're squishy, but you definitely want to scale back on that later when you start getting all your pet resistances online, when you start getting a decent amount of auras for them. We're definitely not there yet, though. So, more skeletons being resummoned is still good at this point, and I guess that little rant was a little bit early. Alright. We're practically at Pine Barrens. Let's just, let's drop a rift here, and we'll head up the road to Homestead. Definitely want to be killing the flesh-warped commanders and vanguards, just in case they drop, well, that. The flesh-warped set here, specifically the helmet, shoulders, and chest, is pretty good armor. They all come with resistances baked into them, so this one's got piercing and elemental. I'm not sure where that cold resist is coming from, actually. That's weird to me. But that's... Why can't I wear it? Oh, I'm too low level. Okay, we'll hang on to that for now. Shield, I'm not super interested in the shield. There is another version of this which I think gives bonuses to Blood of Dreeg from memory. But I'm not too interested in a shield for now. I think I just picked one of them up. Here we go. Yep, there it is. Flat physical damage to Blood of Dreeg. Actually, that's pretty good now that I'm looking at it. If we put 1 point in Blood of Dreeg, which we'll be able to do in 2 levels, and then wore this, all that physical damage... nope, it's an aura. It doesn't get transferred across. Never mind. It's useless. We're not going to use it. So because our pets are not wearing that shield, they won't get the added effects of the transfer. So that 68 physical damage to Blood of Dreeg applies to us because we're wearing the shield. And although Blood of Dreeg is an aura and it will be applied to the pets aren't wearing the shield, so they don't get that additional regen and they don't get that physical damage, which means they're not going to convert the physical damage over to fire, which, yeah, no. And that's the body piece I was looking for. It does come with +3 to vulnerability, which is nice because that's this one. That's going to be our elemental resistance shredding, yeah, at some point. Alright, and that'll do us for the moment. Let's run up the road over here to Homestead. Can do the little fight out the front. And that might have to be it for the episode, actually. Anyway, let's burn that bridge when we get to it, shall we? Alright, another flesh-warped commander. I kind of want that sword. It looks really cool, especially with the green glow. I think that was just because of how he was standing, though. The sword itself doesn't really seem like it glows green. Crown of Command. Nice pet helmet. +2 to summon Hellhound. That might be worth wearing for a little bit. Honestly, probably not, but anyway, we'll see. Alright, we're going to turn the boys loose on Harath the Slaughterer here. Dives pretty quickly. Rifthound leather boots. Is that the boots that I was thinking of earlier? It is. Okay, +2 to Blightfiend is good. +2 to Hellhound is good. Don't really care so much about levels in Hellhound, but that is basically a level and a half. So we can consider that. We'll lose a bit of armor, and we'll lose a little bit of move speed. But resistance is honestly an improvement, so yeah, I think we'll wear that. And we've got a Mark of the Traveler, so we put that on there as well. So resistance-wise, we're looking pretty good. I would like to get a little bit more piercing resistance, which, yeah, we're going to solve that here in a minute. And actually, we have some quests to turn in, so we may actually be able to get to 35 already. I'm getting ahead of myself there. We need Dead Man's Gulch first. And I just cleared my rift as well, so we're going to have to run to find Barrens later. Okay, we talk to Colin first, and we tell him that unfortunately his sister is dead. Then we talk to Olgrim. Send everybody over to Homestead. Now we can go into Homestead and eat our conversation pie. That'll get us to 35. There we go. And, well, I forgot I did that. It's basically wrong. This is wrong. There should be a merchant here with some XP for me. Unfortunately, I killed him, so that's not happening. One thing I do want to do is I want to put at least 1 point here in vulnerability and 1 point in curse of frailty. Because what we're going to do is actually we're going to ditch Homestead for the moment and head back to Devil's Crossing. There's a couple things I want to do. First thing I want to do is I want to look at some of the faction items. Now we should have respected, I think. Yeah, so we can buy these things. And some of this is pretty good. So we've got the Devil's Chest Guard here, 5% physical resistance, pretty good armor, and then some skill points that we don't actually have the skills for at the moment. But we do also have that one. Fleshwap Plate Mail is pretty good, comes with Chaos and Pierce built in. Aggressive is going to be the offensive ability, and of the Fox is going to be the Cunning. And I think the Spirit as well. So I'm going to use that, but if you don't have a good Fleshwap Plate Mail, or even if you do, honestly, the Devil's Chest Guard here is pretty good. You can definitely use that for sure. Same with the shoulders. We've got physical pierce and aether resistance on these ones. OA and DA is nice. Aspect of the Guardian, we don't have that yet. That's going to be this one right here. But they're pretty good as well. And then the helmets they're alright. This one... Yeah, this one is not the heavy helmet. But the Elemental Seal, when you hit, still does relevant damage at this level. And we are shredding elemental resistance, so that's going to help with that as well. I think I'm just going to do that instead. So once we've put this back on, we'll be looking pretty good. Alright, let's... Am I going to use this? I don't think I am going to use this. The extra damage and attack speed on the pets is nice, but I think I want the pierce resist, so we're going to sell that. And we'll get rid of all of the rest of this junk as well. Quickening gem, no. And yeah, I think we're good there. I definitely want to get that back. And I wouldn't mind having my Bladesworn Talisman gone. I definitely want Savage. Yeah, I want Savage. We have to get Hysteria first. We have to get some Manticore Eyes first. Hysteria requires Respected with Homestead. We've only just hit Tolerated. We need to be up here, so we can keep dual wielding these for a little bit. Let's check that point in Physique. Also, we have the Rovers. The Rovers also have some gear for us at 35, so it's the base game factions, basically. Except for the Black Legion and the Outcast, they all have their sets of items available at level 35. The gloves from the Rovers are pretty good. These ones are alright. These ones are also alright. These are a bit heavier. Same resistance, attack versus cast speed, and slightly different stats. I'm tempted to get these, actually. The other good one is the boots are okay. The Homestead boots, I think, are better. But we do also have these. Was it those? Yeah, it was those. So we got some shoulders with some pet stuff on them. Having the pet elemental resist is decent. Increase armor over what I'm wearing, some more health, some more defensive ability. I think I'm going to wear these ones. So we'll just swap those over. Now, I didn't lose any fire or any resistance because we're still capped on fire. All I lost was that Battlecry proc, which does hurt a little bit. But we got some elemental resistance for the pets, which is nice to have at this level. So I'm going to do that. I also want to spend some money on Vengeful Wraith. Runestone is a good one. That'll probably do for now. Especially since I'm not planning on making any of them right now. We also have here at Devil's Crossing, we'll have the Aether Soul. Where are you? There we go, Aether Soul. This will go on your amulet and or metal, and it's Aether Resistance. So that's good to have going into the other side of Homestead. Unfortunately, we will be losing bleeding and elemental resistance if we take those ward stones off. We'll also be losing some move speed, but yeah, that can't be helped. Alright, so again, you could swap over to the Carver's Conjuring Bone. Not having access to Hysteria yet means probably not going to. But you definitely could. Alright, let's just see. Yes, I do still need that. So we'll chuck that on there, we'll chuck that on there. Okay, top row, fully capped. Bottom row, yeah, not so much. But this is pretty good for Homestead. This is not good for Homestead, but things we could do to fix that. We could farm up another flesh-warped helmet and chest plate. Get one with warding. I think it's warding. That'll give us some Aether resistance on there. We could go to a merchant here and just do a search for Aether resistance. There's 15% on a somewhat decent chest armor. Mostly I'd be looking for rings doing this. There's a helmet with some. So we could definitely do that. We could go back and fight some of Cronley's gang. The Aether helmet, I think it is, has 20%-ish Aether resistance on it, if you can get one to drop. So, all things we could do. We also have the potions. We could absolutely come over here to Duncan and go to consumables. What do we got here? Where is it? Spirit Bane. Okay, I don't have an Aether Shard. I don't have a Wrathstone, but I can make an Aether Shard. And then I can make a Wrathstone. And now I can make a Spirit Bane ointment. The other thing we could do, I am actually going to do that. The other thing we could do is just do a search for Aether Res, and you'll show Purified Salt. This will absolutely drop your damage, but it will give both you and your pets some Aether resistance. And if you really can't get Aether resistance by the time we get to the left-hand side of Homestead, this is preferable to dying. You will need Aether resistance for the left side of Homestead, and then if we get to the right-hand side and we don't have a decent amount of chaos, you can do the same thing with the Imbued Silver. Or you can just do one of each and have sort of a general all-purpose setup. So that's also something you can do. Alright, I'm actually going to end this episode here. So next episode we'll be doing Pine Barrens, but until then I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. See you in the next one, and goodbye for now.